The one that fascinates me is Chicago because Dalton is new there. It's not like he's got any sort of skin in the game in that locker room with his teammates. And Fields looked the way that he did. If he does that against the Bills, even against the Bills twos, I understand that's a tough assignment against the Rams on a Sunday night on NBC with Donald and Ramsey. But what do you think about Fields starting week 1? The Bears just ripping the Band-Aid off and just going. What do you think of that idea, Louis?
You know, Rich, I think it wouldn't be shocking. And I don't necessarily feel as though it would be, I understand why you use the analogy. I don't necessarily feel as though it'll be ripping the Band-Aid off because of this. People want to make a lot out of the fact that Matt Nagy, the head coach, his job status at the end of this year could be in question or up for review, however you want to term it.
Right.
And no kidding. He knows that. So what? I mean, he gets that. We all get that. We're all up for review. He, knowing him like I do, is not making his decision for Justin based off of that. He truly, and if you know Matt Nagy, you know his story and how he came up and how he came into this league and how he got his start. This is about as genuine a guy as I know. And I know him pretty damn well. He wants to do right by Justin. He wants this young man to be that quarterback for the city of Chicago that they basically have never had. And and that's why I think of all the quarterbacks, everyone is so enamored with that situation because of him being drafted by a blue blood team that of all the great players that they've had, they've never had that quarterback, that one. So if Justin can prove to him that given some of the deficiencies that they have, particularly on the offensive line, remember now they had signed Jason Peters. That's for a reason because their offensive tackles are not good. And Matt knows it, and Ryan Pace knows it, and everybody who watches football knows it. If he feels as though Justin can protect himself from a protection standpoint, making sure he's got the guys covered up that he needs to have covered up, that he's able to protect himself against free rushers when teams try to blitz his brains out if he is in the game, which is what they will do, then he will put him in there. And that could be week 1 if he feels it's comfortable, if he feels he's ready. It could be week 4. It could be week 8. He really is not basing this on anything other than when is he ready to go, when can it be one of those where then the trajectory is a stair step up. And I think we all, as football fans in the city of Chicago, for damn sure, would like for it to be week 1 because we all saw what he just did. We see the electric athleticism. But Matt truly, Rich, is trying to make this decision about the long term, about being great, not just now, but being great forever. For Justin not being able to just win now and this team be able to win now, but for Justin to be able to win forever and for this team to be set up for a long time, forever in the future. He really is, and I believe that. I really do believe it. It's just a matter of how does this thing trend over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And Justin's going to control that. And I believe that organically speaking, that's how he's going to do it. Personally, I'm selfish just like everyone else. I want to see him week 1.
Sure.
Because the kid is a freak, man. And all the stuff about is he committed to being great? Is he willing to go the extra?
That's
the
crazy.
Whole scouting axiom up. Is he first in and last out? Will he get rid of all the distractions? Is he all football all the time? I'm telling you, I know Matt again very well. It has been all business from day one, and the kid has heard all of this. He's heard people question him about all of this. And from all accounts in Chicago, he is about as lasered in as you could possibly be. And I really do think they've got something special going on there, man. Look, again, the fan in me hopes that he plays right out of the gate.
Me too, Louis.
Right out of the gate.
Me too, Louis Riddick here on the Rich Eisen Show. And sometimes I also think, from my own experience, it can be overthought too, And again, I'm not there, as you point out, I'm not there in meeting rooms. I'm not there, in weight rooms. I'm not there, in any way, shape, or form, boots on the ground. So I'm sitting here, I'm sitting wherever I am, looking in on this, and with my own experiences, and everybody's their own individual. I just remember the way that Deshaun Watson got his first start. He got his first start because his coach put him in the middle of a game in week 1. And then got the start the next week on a short week in Cincinnati. When you want to talk about lack of protection, they were down to tight ends being thrown on the offensive line due to concussions and all sorts of stuff. And Watson was in Cincinnati. I saw with my own 2 eyes. He ran it in from midfield for a touchdown, which was the only touchdown of the game against Andy Dalton, I might add. They got the win, and all of a sudden Deshaun Watson is born in the NFL. And I'm wondering why not give that a whirl for Justin Fields is what I'm pretty much sitting here thinking.
And you know what? I mean, that's a great argument. That's a great argument for it. There's no way of knowing with 100% certainty if Justin would have the same fate, so to speak, right? We don't know that, and they have to take their best guess, or their most educated guess as to whether or not that would be the case if they did that with him. And I mean, we don't know. I mean, I can give you examples of quarterbacks who came into the league. I can give you one, right? I mean, who get their heads beat in, right? And they're not the same. It's just they just start seeing ghosts, man. They just do. Because look, as a guy who plays defense, and you're around great players all the time with what you do, Rich, and you know the defensive players are kooky, man. They're trying to put quarterbacks under the turf.
Correct.
And when they get hit like that over and over again, I don't care what kind of guy you are, you start flinching, man. He just doesn't want that to happen to Justin, and we don't know if it will or if it won't. And I'm with you. Look, his athleticism will probably be able to negate some of those hits and some of those scenarios where he'll be put in harm's way behind that Swiss cheese of an offensive line they got in Chicago. Obviously much better than what Andy Dalton can, and will give them a better chance than what Andy Dalton can. I'm not a fool. I'm not gonna argue for Andy Dalton over Justin Fields if Justin has enough of a grasp of the offense. I'm just saying I really do think that, just as almost in a fatherly, mentor way, Matt has this affection for this kid in a way that kind of almost transcends football. Like, he just wants this guy to succeed in a way that no one at that position has succeeded in Chicago. He really has taken this on in a personal way. And he's seen how when you do it just right, he's seen how guys can become the kind of guys that get $500 million contracts, because he was in Kansas City when they did this with Patrick.
Right.
So he understands it. We'll see what he does with it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.